Hey everybody, Gary here with Guitar Tricks, and in this video I'm going to share with you one of my favorite chord movements. It's just putting together these two little triads. It's so finger friendly, it sounds great. We could use it in different situations, and I'm going to explain how to use it, as you saw in the intro, as a kind of rock riff, a cool embellishment, and then also how to use it to create a chord movement between two different chords. It's often associated with Keith Richards, I think, that he liked to do that. It does sound like something you would hear in a Rolling Stones song. Before we get started, please go ahead and click the subscribe button and also click that bell if you want to be notified of any time we post a new lesson. Also, let us know in the comments section what videos you'd like to see next. That's where we're always looking for ideas. All right, let's get into it. So we start by finding a major chord. Let's find three major chords. 1, 4, and 5 in any one key. We have a 1, 4, and a 5 that are major, right? So the root of the chord is going to be on the G string. I know a lot of us, we don't memorize the G string, so we don't find chord shapes with roots that start on the G string, right? It's one of the things that keeps us from playing small chord forms all over the neck because we just don't know where they are, right? So I'm going to tell you where they are, but if you want to use this shape, I recommend that you memorize that G string so you can just see where that chord is built from. Okay, so the first chord we're going to play is C, and there's a C on the 5th fret of the G string. Now we have the 5th of that chord. Every basic major chord has a root, a third, and a fifth. A root, a major third, a perfect fifth. The 5th is right below it, closer to your nose, toes to nose, but below it in pitch. When talking about the direction of the guitar, I like to just keep it consistent with pitch. So these are the high strings and these are the low strings. So we take that C on the 5th fret of the G string, play the 5th below it, which incidentally is the note G, and then we play the 3rd right above it, which is the note E. So here we have what we call a second inversion C major triad. Just know that you got your root right in the middle. Okay, now you want to angle your finger in a way, your index finger, so that it mutes out the high E string, and it also mutes the A string. This way you could really get into it. So you just want to kind of perfect that angle. If you're having trouble, just be a little more careful with the right hand, because if we play this chord, it's a totally different chord. So we're going to do this in the key of F. We're going to play the 5 chord first, which is C. Then we're going to go down to the 4 chord, B flat. So if this is C, well, down 1 fret would be B, down 2 frets is B flat. And then we're going to go all the way up to F. So C is on the 5th fret, B flat is on the 3rd fret, and then F is on the 10th fret. So we've got and I want you to get that rhythm with me. So I'm going to play it with a beat so you could really feel what that rhythm is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice how it comes in right before the downbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2. Awesome. Okay, now we want to spice it up by adding this little embellishment. So we could think of this just as an embellishment or as a chord change. It kind of sounds like a chord change, but in context, it's just an embellishment. What's the difference? An embellishment is not changing the chord, it's playing off the chord. A chord change is actually playing a new chord. If we stayed here, then it would definitely sound like a chord change. But the fact that we're just really quickly going, it sounds more like an embellishment. So what is this embellishment? Well, first let's think about it as the chord change. If it's a chord change, we're going from C to its 4 chord F. Okay, now this triad, just thinking about in terms of, say, the caged way of talking about chord shapes, really comes from the G shape. If we think of just the open 3 strings, those 3 strings open, where do we find those? In a G chord, right? And then we add to that these other notes. So if I wanted to play the G shape surrounding this C chord, see what I mean? That would be like a G shape, just totally moved up to frets 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so this 4 chord comes out of the C shape. So it's kind of like going, right? It's like going from G to C. But we're doing it up on the neck. And it comes out of this full shape. So if I was going to be really, play these full chord shapes, it would be. But the beautiful thing is we're just working with these smaller triads, these little triads within these big chord shapes. Now, where is the root note in this pattern? In this triad, it's on the B string. So to really be able to use this little major triad, you want to know at least where that root note is, right on the B string. So we're going from this root note, C, to this root note, F. So we've got C, and then F. Okay, so all you have to do, leave your finger down and just go up 1 fret with your middle finger on the 2nd string, counting toes to nose, and then go up 2 frets with your ring finger on the 4th string, counting toes to nose. And then back to... Now technically what we end up playing here, like I said, is an F major triad. So we're going C major to F major triad. But it sounds like an embellishment. And then when we go down here, we go from B flat to E flat. See, B flat, C, D, E flat, right? And then up here, F to B flat. Okay, cool. So that's the trick. And anytime, what I would recommend is start playing major chords in this little triad shape with your index finger. Now you could even add your pinky. Like I said, it comes out of the G shape, so you could add your pinky up 3 frets and get another root. And you could always embellish with that little movement. Now, the other way to think about this is just as a chord change. So, for instance, let's say we just wanted to play C to F. That's a great way to play C to F, right? So we're playing C with that triad with the index. We're adding the root with the pinky, coming out of the G shape. And then we're playing the top 4 strings of an F chord without the root, because the root is kind of annoying. And we're allowing ourselves to even bar the high E string on the 5th fret on the F. So we've got C to F. All right, everybody, I hope that lesson was helpful. Have fun with this stuff. Explore it all over the neck. See if you can incorporate it into chord progressions you're already playing. Play them in a new spot using these little triad chord forms. If you want to learn more about playing guitar, head over to guitartricks.com, where there's courses on rock, country, blues, guitar fundamentals. There's hundreds and hundreds of song lessons, multiple videos per lesson, downloadable jam tracks, and all sorts of other great goodies. Guitartricks.com. Have fun, everybody. Happy playing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.